And so, beloved masters, here we are for another power-packed ritual. This full moon in Aries. Aries is the first sign of the horoscope, so it always marks new beginnings, starting out, accomplishing new things, discovering more about your sacred self. And so this full moon is conjunct the aspect of Chiron. Chiron, the wounded healer. And as the moon in Aries can certainly turn toward war and conflict, the wounded healer is bringing forth old wounds rising to the surface with secrets that have been kept for lifetimes. These things are becoming clear. They are becoming open. They are being revealed to all. So we have said many times, there's no hiding place down here. And the more that things open up, the more transparent each and every being is being called to be. The deeper you go within, the better you know yourself, the more that you are comfortable with having others know who you are. And so, as you find yourself perhaps dealing with fear, because certainly there are many aspects going on the planet now that would cause fear for the populace. 8 billion people on a relatively small planet. And what you are being called to by the planets as they move in their courses is cooperation, community, coming together, coalescing, remembering that I am one with every soul on this ball. There is no one that I can dismiss. The logical mind has encouraged finger pointing and judgment, separation, and, yes, snobbery. And it is all of that is bubbling to the surface with this intense inner awareness that there is not one on this planet that I am not a part of. I will comment that, yes, there always has to be darkness, because without the darkness, the light is out of balance. But it is that in these times, so many of the challenges are coming from people on the planet using their free will choice to follow a path that turns away from the light. So there is a lot of really powerful feeling coming about in this time, and it is for each one, and you will hear this and hear this I'm not the only one that's saying this. If you listen to channels from all over the planet, you will hear them saying, come home to yourself. Be good to yourself. Take care of yourself. Be kind to you. And then allow the comfort, the peace, the alignment, the serenity that you build within yourself in your inner space. Allow that to be something that you share with others. And the Aries moon can be rather aggressive. It can turn to anger very quickly. And it is that the sun in the sign of Libra calls for peace and harmony. It calls for balance. And so, dearly beloved masters, finding the balance between the aggressive emotions of these times and that desire to have peace and harmony and balance. It is that a lot of the things from the past, other lifetimes, not just this one, wounds, fears that have been instilled in other times when the world was in one of its more aggressive phases. And as you look back upon history, his story, you will find that the planet has been in aggression even in biblical times. In fact, the tendency of the winner of the battle is to write the story so that the opposition was absolutely weak and they were easily defeated. And throughout time, even from the stories that were in the master book to begin with, man has rewritten the sacred works, rewritten them to express more modern ideas. And yet in the ancient text, in the books of mystery, are stories, amazing, beautiful, magical stories that are so vital to the changes that you will be making in this time. On the 13th of this month, 14th, Pluto goes stationary direct. And when Pluto begins to move forward, even though it is about truth, it can also be about power. And so, as it goes direct, you may feel a burst of power. This supermoon is like a supercharger. And you may not so much feel it as energy as you feel it as nerves, because everything is moving so fast and people are attempting to keep up with it. And the stress is increasing because There are fewer and fewer people being allowed to do what more and more have been responsible for. And so the stress, the stress of having to have two or three jobs, the stress of having to do the job of two or three people, the lack of consideration of those that are in places of power, that this is indeed a planet of human beings. This is indeed a planet of living people. People who have known peace, people that have been respected, people that have lived in a recognition within themselves that all is well. And rather than turning away from that in these times where the pull to the outer world and what's going on out there, the drama is so powerful more than ever. It is that as these power surges occur, go within. The more the power is applied, the deeper you go. The deeper you go, the more you connect with the protection, the peace, your own personal power, and how that protects you. In this highly charged emotional climate, I want to remind you that as you connect deep within yourself, you are opening doorways to the divine. You are calling spirit to be with you. The logical mind might want to suggest that spirit takes things away from you. But I will tell you this. I've said it before and I will say it many times again, just so you hear. Spirit loves you unconditionally. Spirit loves you without a judgment. Spirit loves you and will protect you. It cannot deny your choices for free will, but Spirit will stop you from going too far in love. It will stop you. The child that desires to play in the freeway, and you tell the child not to play in the freeway, and you take the child back out of the street, and yet the child keeps most passionately desiring to play in the freeway, and spirit watches. And as the child looks around and sees no one there and reaches the foot out to step off the curb, spirit wraps the child in love and holds them so that they cannot take the step. Many who have wanted very badly to do something in their life and find that the way seems to be blocked, or truly and honestly, it isn't the time. But patience has not been a virtue, and this Aries moon is not necessarily going to help with the patience. Certainly, the sun in Libra can bring a more peaceful climb if you're willing, but it is to feel as you go deeper and deeper into yourself, so deep that it is you feel quiet. The pressure of the world is no longer there as you go into the depths of yourself. And when you find that place within where the pressure of the world is no longer there, you can begin to genuinely let go, divesting yourself of things that you have held on to, things that you believed you could not live without, and now it's time to let them go. And the logical mind says, well, now tell me what that would be. And I would say to you, you know, trust yourself. You know that the relationship is ended and you are being called with an almost clarion call to go forward. And yet the ego mind says, but I can't live without it. Until it comes to a point where you realize, I can't live with it. The job that you've known for so very long is simply not in your greatest favor, and yet the logical mind says, but I need, operative word, the money. And yet, if spirit wraps you in its loving energy and says, just let go. And you may find, yes, the job is gone, but instead of feeling really sad, you feel relieved. And even when logic wants to taunt you and say, now what are you going to do? In your center, you're peaceful. In your center, it is quiet. It really is all right. Neptune is going to move back into the sign of Pisces before the end of this month. And in November, Uranus moves back into Taurus. As everything has been fire and air, things have just progressively up spiraled. But now, with Neptune and Saturn in Pisces and Uranus back in the sign of Taurus, there's going to be a feeling of things slowing down. There's going to be a lot of water. rain. And it's already showing up as Neptune moves closer and closer in its retrograde to the sign of Pisces. There's floods, and there will be more. And the waters will rise, and there could be tsunamis and tidal waves. So, for those that live in coastal regions, it is to take precautions because the logical mind says, oh, that will never happen here. And dearly beloved masters, there are things happening all over the earth that people have said, oh, that will never happen here. So come forward, get aligned with yourself, feel connected to your inner self, and allow that your thought processes operate much more in the body brain rather than in the logical mind because the body brain pays attention. The body brain notices little details, small things that logic wants to overlook in its hurry to get to the next thing. You've got to hurry, you've got to move, you've got to get it done quickly, quickly. Slow down. This is a supermoon, so it is closer in energy to the Earth than at any other time. And the supermoon appears so much bigger and brighter in the night sky because of the closeness to the Earth. That just, you might say, magnifies, amplifies the power of the emotional makeup of this Aries moon. Bigger energy. So at this moment, it is that the people of the United States are watching what they have known for the last 250 years being dismantled in a matter of months. It didn't seem so fragile. And the truth of it is, masters, it really isn't so fragile. But it requires that each one not sit and think about what can I do to stop them, but sit and really connect within. How am I going to encourage, support, and stand with myself in these times? Not spending a moment of time wishing that I could do something about this. And of course, the logical mind says, no, you got to do something about it. No, you don't. Take care of you. But I was taught that I'm here to take care of them. You cannot change them. They, unless you let them, cannot change you. So it's to get very, very clear that this isn't about deciding how to try to make the world go back to where it was. It's about becoming very effectively connected with the power that will help you to know who you are and the power that will assist you to understand how I change myself. I don't know what to do. What do you desire to create? Get clear in yourself about what you really desire to create. Get clear. And as you are focusing on being clear about what I really desire to create with this life that I have been given, begin to look into what is called for to accomplish that particular desire. About what you desire to be involved with. Learn about yourself. The weaving of past and present into these times is putting many of you in touch with your lineage. You may suddenly find yourself desiring to know more about grandparents or great-grandparents, or even where my lineage started. So investigate. Look for a new level of awareness. Ask Spirit to help you, to direct you, because the more you are connected within, the more open you are to hearing, feeling divine directive. Venus, which rules the sun, this sun sign, not the sun itself, Venus is in a sextile to Jupiter, a lovely, a lovely opportunity, a lovely way to discover in love more about yourself. Mars, that rules the sign of the moon, Aries, is conjunct in a very wide angle that will be closing rather rapidly. It is conjunct Neptune. No, Mercury. It is conjunct Mercury. About communication, about not particularly pleasant communication. The secret, Scorpio, Mars and Mercury are sitting in this sign of secrets, this sign of revelation, this sign of the hidden being revealed. Mars, ruler of Aries, can be very angry, very impulsive, very inconsiderate. And yet it has a lot of energy. And conjunct Mercury, as you listen to the news, as you watch what's going on in the world, you may hear people saying things that, as you feel it in yourself, you're pretty sure that as they cool down, they may truly wish they hadn't said what they said or hadn't done what they impulsively did. So, dearly beloved masters, taking care of yourself, a big part of it now is not about control, but about discipline. You have dominion over your own life. Remember it. Feel it within you. Not dominance, not power over, but the dominion of free will. And consider very carefully what free will is asking you to do. Free will is a gift from the divine, but logic gets in and says, let me tell you what you need to do. And then logic says, and you've got to do it quickly. You don't have time to think about it. The logical mind is a bit like a used car salesman. Don't think about this. It's a great car. Sign on this dotted line. Hurry, hurry. You're going to miss out. I'll sell it to someone else. And in every stratum of society now, there is someone saying, hurry, hurry. Don't take time to consider your choices. Just make the choice. Sign on the dotted line. Commit to the change. You can act in haste and repent in leisure. So pay attention. Pay attention when it just would feel so good to say something with attitude. In every situation, dearly beloved masters, take a moment to consider if this was happening to me, if I was on the receiving end of what I'm about to do or what I'm about to say, would I just brush it off? I think it was nothing if it happened to me, because a lot of the world in this time has reached a place of such emotional distance, being closed into themselves, but not connected. And the planets, the big outer planets that are setting up new directions, new pathways, It is, dearly beloved masters, those ways are being formed by the choices you're making now. Today, you make a choice. You may not get the response to that choice for months, but it is that the response that you get to the choice when it comes will be magnified on what you put out. Well, I was so angry I screamed. Yes. And you may have felt very justified. But how does it feel as you calm down? So many people are saying in these times, I had a right to do that. And dearly beloved masters, I would not argue that at all, because you were granted free will by the divine. So you have the right to make the choice, but you also are bound to the outcome of your actions. So this time is really big energy. And people may find themselves in anger, feeling bigger than they've considered themselves to be before. So, dearly beloved masters, do take that time to really consider if this was me on the receiving end, how would I feel? And pause. Pause. It is time for each one to consider, do you want to add to the anger and frustration of the world, or do you want to be a calming element, a quiet voice, a loving gesture that in these times very often catches people quite off guard? Sometimes the most valuable gift that you can give is a smile to someone you don't know, to someone who appears to be having a bad day. It is time to really consider that everything you put out returns to you magnified. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. Well, that was a very good thing. It ought to have very good results. Magnified. But it will have the same results if you are not being so kind or so generous or so considerate. So, dearly beloved masters, the power of this time on Earth, how the planets are moving in their courses, the monumental changes, the technology of these times is being very much influenced by Uranus and Pluto and the Neptune-Mars conjunction. And so to really consider that as artificial intelligence is beginning to move into everyday life in every aspect, it's time for you to be authentic. It's time for you to be real. It's time for you to show up as who you are. Be real. And angry people may say, well, this is who I am. I'm real. I'm angry. But to stop and consider, give yourself 28 days, a moon cycle, 28 days of making a conscious effort to be kind, a conscious effort to speak in a friendly, compassionate, caring way, to feel from your heart and your soul that you are sharing love, the heart open, the soul clarity guiding you. And at the end of 28 days, only 4 weeks, take time to consider how much kinder you feel, how much kinder people are being to you in love. And if the desire to slip back into the old ways feels compelling, take the time to really experience. How would I feel if I was receiving the energy I'm wanting to put out? Just a moment. It doesn't take hours to contemplate. It really only takes a second, because things really do move faster beyond the energy essence of the physical world. And so to really feel connected to your heart center, to your soul, this has nothing, really nothing to do with religion. Because as time has passed, the glorious teachings that came, many of them from the mystery schools, from the Temple of Delphi, from the places all over the world that held, understood, and shared the teachings. It is feel the power, expansive power, the depth of knowing yourself as you connect within. Feel the magic. It's pure, it's clear, it's powerful. And so, dearly beloved masters, the planets in this time will support you as you allow them to support you. But the caveat is always, it only works if you do. It only works if you do. And so, dearly beloved masters, it is for you to get a clear realization, recognition, understanding, connection to the divine within yourself. It isn't somewhere else. It's in your DNA. The connection to the divine is in the air you breathe, the water you drink, the blood in your veins. It is in the thoughts that you have. It is in the actions that you take. It is in, if you would, the nobility of taking the time to really consider others as you would consider yourself. How do you love you? For this is something that the challenges of these times are, if you're focused out in the world, pulling you away from yourself even further. You may have been shut down for lifetimes in fear, in self-doubt, in a sense of feeling inferior or insignificant. But these are the times for you to remember, to acknowledge, to get in touch with, to live. You really are. Enjoy it. Really care for yourself, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. Take the time to be with you. The world says, hurry, hurry. And I advise you, slow down. To really consider how valuable you are. That you don't put yourself in jeopardy mentally, emotionally, or physically by going too fast. Whether it's driving in a vehicle, walking down the street, riding a bicycle, whether it's saying the first thing that pops into your mind and then regretting it for a long time. Slow down. Feel you. Really feel you. Be in touch with you. The more you do, the more you'll love. And the more you love, the more you love. Everything that you share is magnified as it returns to you. Be a cheerful giver, yes, but masters, be a gracious receiver. Accept the gifts. The ingrained teaching of religion has been that you don't want to ask God for too much. And you don't want to ask anybody else for too much. And yet, divine design says you were created to share. Your lives are woven together because you are in this place, in this time on earth. Dearly beloved, amazing, divine, creative masters. And yes, the logical mind says, I have heard all of this before. Why can't you tell us something new? The reason you're hearing so much about it right now in this time is because it's so ancient, it's new again. Everybody's talking about it. You hear it and hear it. You read it. You see it because we are doing our absolute best to get this understanding before humanity, before they get so far away from themselves that they don't believe they can come home. You're almost home. For many of you, it's one step away. It is so close. Call upon your higher self to help you recognize you, to really feel you in the heart, in the soul, feel you. Feel you in a way that you haven't known yourself in thousands of years. Don't be a stranger to yourself. We are with the earth and all of her people. There are billions of you, and there are millions, trillions of us, masters throughout time, as you are masters who are now remembering who you are. But mastery isn't superiority. Mastery honors equality. Superiority shuts the life off, closes people away, causes them to forget the value of every life on earth. And so, dearly beloved masters, this supermoon enlightens your outer life. The full moon is always about what are you bringing to the world from your inner self. The new moon, the dark of the moon, says, how are you with your inner self? So this full moon is saying, what have you been pondering within, and what are you bringing out into the world? Is it conflict because the world is conflicted and I can't survive in the world if I don't fight? Forgive fighting. Deeply forgive fighting. Let go of that need to respond on battle's edge. Relax. And be absolutely amazed at how peaceful your life begins to be. To allow this Libra sun, which is masculine energy. So let's contemplate this. The goddess is emerging in men just as much as the goddess is emerging in women. Men would prefer to believe that goddesses are only a myth, but if you've got to really deal with them, then it's for the women to deal with. But the truth of it is, the goddess is emerging in men. And there are many men that are experiencing feeling softer, gentler, kinder, more caring, more compassionate, and really wondering why they ever believed that being a battler really made them strong. Because, masters, it takes far more courage to be peaceful than it does to fight. Angry people can fight easily, but the courage to set aside the anger, to hang up your sword and your shield, and to use the faith and the unconditional love of the divine to create the ongoing of your life. And so, beloved masters, let the energy of these times, rather than pushing you faster and faster and faster and winding you up until the anger is almost unbearable, let the peace that abides deep within you invite you into your inner place where you can go so deep that the pressure of the outer world is not upon you. And as that pressure releases, things that you've been attempting to let go of can actually pass away. But it requires being peaceful to release the conflict. It requires being quiet. When the logical mind is talking constantly, a lot of people feel they need something going on all the time. Music, loud music, something to distract them from themselves. But what you really require is quiet, soft music to slow down your pulses and to unwind your thoughts. And so, dearly beloved masters, this time is so very powerful. Use it well. You have come from the month of September with two eclipses back to back. And those eclipses will continue to influence how your life is going over the next 6 months. So right now, where we are sitting today, if you consider that things will slow down, they will call you to come to center, use the time well. Do not keep reaching out to an unknown future and trying to get ahead of everyone else because you can't. The unknown future remains unknown. So you can't go there and create something and bring it back here because it was created in the unknown. And that remains unknown here. So pay attention to what you desire and call it. The goddess dreams, and she calls her dreams to manifest where she is. She doesn't have to pursue them through the world. But dearly beloved masters, she is required to be very, very patient. So let us suggest that over the next 6 months, you really find patience within you. Find it, feel it, get acquainted with it, get comfortable, utilize it in your life, live it, live it. The next 6 months. For as the spring equinox marks the beginning of another energy time of birthing forward, everything will really begin to pick up again. And so right now, be here now, be here with yourself in this moment. And forgive letting your mind take you out and away from yourself to the outer dramas. And what can I do about it? Nothing, except change yourself. Change yourself. As you change yourself, the world changes, other people change, but you don't make them change so you can, because that is backward. You change yourself because that is your realm of creative potential. Change yourself and be absolutely astounded at how the world is changing. Not just in the negative ways that are gathering the most press on the planet, but in positive ways, in quiet ways. Scientists that are still working in the laboratory to find a new healing, a new way to save lives. They may be threatened, they may have their salary taken away, and yet many of them are so dedicated to what they desire to bring about that they stay with it. And imagine this, when they decide that they're going to stay and continue to follow the path of their investigation because it's a blessing to the world, they begin to have experiences of life helping them, people donating to their cause, people supporting what they are doing. And instead of being bereft victims, they become powerful beacons, examples to the world. Giving and receiving are a sacred circle. You give not to get, but you do receive because everyone enjoys giving almost as much as they enjoy receiving. So keeping that flow of sharing with others and allowing them to share with you, put away the tally that the ego mind says you must have. I did this for you, and now you must do this for me. And so often it has unfortunate outcomes simply because the person that you helped is not a master at the place where you require assistance. You may have helped an artist, and now you need a plumber, and the artist knows nothing about pipes. So forgive the expectations of, I did it for you, so you get to do it for me. And as you are sharing, simply speak to the universe. I open my heart and soul to receive, and in the times when I require it, my way will be provided. Every day you share, enjoy it instead of bemoaning your fate. The power of positive thinking is a much greater power than what you see people out in the world flexing their muscles and saying they're being powerful when in many ways they're practicing avoidance more than they ever have before. And the logical mind generally will suggest that avoiding the situation is the best way to go. So when those who have a responsibility in high places decide that it's time to go on vacation and just let the peons do what they will. Masters, those who are taking those perspectives are no more and no less than anyone that they would abandon in their choices. So, dearly beloved masters, the changes begin in you. They begin with you. And as you are willing to allow them the time to demonstrate what you can really experience from love, it will change your world. It will change your life. And you can move forward into this amazing unknown with an open heart, an open mind, and yes, even open hands to receive blessings that you would have never dreamed of. So celebrate the power of this supermoon as it shines so bright. Let that energy illumine you from the inside. And when the desire to make war imposes upon you, take the time to forgive it and make a space for positive outcomes. And so, dearly beloved masters, we will open the circle. We thank the North, the way of the teacher. May it teach us all to be the gracious and beautiful beings that we were created by the divine to be. We thank the West. May it heal the emotions with the waters of love and faith. We thank the South. May the heart be open. May the energy and the warmth of love include everyone. And we thank the East, the places of the mind, of thought, of the flow of communication. And so, beloved masters, the circle is open for all who have come to be with us and would go forth into their evening or into their day. We are thankful for your presence and we invite you to return. The door is always open.